Hello and welcome back to O-Level Computer Science Python Programming, and in this video we're going to look at how to make an 80s retro Pong game. So before we begin, let me show you what the game actually looks like. I'm in Python and we've written this code in 135 lines, okay, and that does include some comments. Throughout the video there will be a lot more comments and a lot more explanation, but I'm just going to run this and show you what the game actually does. So we're going to run module. Okay, so it's going to bring up a pop-up screen with some instructions on what we do, and you can see left and right arrow keys and spacebar to start the game. So I press spacebar and it starts off very, very slowly. Okay, and I can move my paddle from left to right. Okay, and it counts up the scores every time I hit the ball back. It adds 1 to the score. Now, once we've hit 3 of the balls back, the game will start to speed up. Okay, so you speed it up a little bit there. And every time we pass another 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, the game will get faster and faster. Okay, so if you want to continue, let's have a look at how we put this game together. So if you have a little look at Python, we're going to import turtle, import random. Okay, we're going to set up the screen. We're going to set up some introductory text. We're going to create the introduction to turtle by basically drawing the elements. Okay, we're going to create a function called start game, and we're going to create a function to move the paddles left and right. We're going to attach the keys, left and right keys, okay, to these paddle controls, and then we're going to create a main game where we move the ball and we set the ball mathematics and we check if there's borders, so the ball bounces off the borders of the box. And then if the ball misses the paddle when it reaches the bottom, then the game is over. So let's have a look at this back into the presentation. So we're going to import turtle and import random. These are the only 2 external libraries we need. Okay, most of the game has been created using turtle. The ball and the paddle are really the only 2 elements that are drawn on the screen. Okay, so we're going to set up the screen. The screen is going to be, as I say, turtle. So we're going to create a screen object. We're going to set up the title for the window. So I've called this single player Pong, as you can see up here. We set a size, 600 by 600 is a little square screen. Okay, and the screen background color I've set to black. Okay, and then I've just put a little tracer in here to set that to 0, so I've basically turned the tracer off, so the automatic screen updates to manually control when the screen updates. Okay, we just need to include that in there. So let's have a little look at this. So import turtle, yeah, and pop it in. Then the instruction screen I've just shown you, yeah, this is how we'd do it. We'd create a variable called intro text, okay, and within that we've got a multi-line string. I've done this with the 3 quote marks, as you can see here. Welcome to single player Pong. Yeah, try to bounce the ball off the paddles, and there are the instructions for the game. Press spacebar to start. But the text won't appear on screen because we've not told it to. So in this next few lines, 25 to 31, we're going to show you how to display basically this text onto the screen. Okay, so nip back into the presentation. In relation to this text, we've got to create a turtle object to display the introductory text. That's what intro turtle equals turtle.turtle means. Okay, we're going to set the turtle to white. Okay, so that means the text is going to be white. This is basically the same code here, as you can see, but I've just commented it so it's clear to understand. Okay, lift the pen up so it doesn't draw anything on the screen. Hide the turtle icon. We don't want the turtle appearing, or an arrow, or whatever the turtle is set up as. Okay, and move the turtle to 0, 0, basically the center of the screen. Yeah, go to 0, 0. Then we're going to use the .write command to take that green text, which you saw on the previous slide, the intro text, and that's what's going to appear aligned centered. Font is going to be Courier, 16 point, yeah, and it's going to be normal, not bold, normal. Okay, so that basically writes, this line here writes the introductory text in the center of the screen with a specific font and size. That's this thing here. So that, going back into this, those first 31 lines have been written, have been created. We can then move on and we can start working on how the game actually will begin, how the game is played. So by creating a paddle, creating a ball. So let's have a little look at that. Okay, so for this next bit, I'm going to, as I just said, define the start of the game. I'm going to create a paddle, create a score, and create a pen to write the word score onto the screen. So there's the code, but I'm just going to try and break this down a little bit more for you. So let's do step 1. We're going to define start game. Okay, a new function define start game. So it's going to clear, first of all, intro turtle clear. It's going to clear the introduction text as soon as we press the space bar. So screen on key press space. That's going to do what they call unbind the space key, so to make sure it doesn't restart the game again. So step 2, we're going to create the paddle. So let's just bring in the screen so we can see what's happening. So creating the paddle, that's this thing down here. Yeah, paddle equals turtle.turtle creates a turtle object. We're going to set the shape of the paddle to square, and we're going to set it to white. But what we're going to do is going to change the shape of the square. So shape size is basically it's stretched in 1, but the length of it is going to be 5. Okay, so that's how we change the size and shape of this paddle. Okay, but we don't want to draw anything. It starts at 0, 0, so we don't want to draw anything up here. We're going to move the pen down, yeah, from 0, 0 in the middle of the screen here, down to position minus 280 in the y-axis. So remember, this screen is 600 by 600. So if we start at 0, 0, we can move sort of 300 in that direction to the border, 300 in this direction to the border. So positive x this way, negative x this way. So positive 300, negative 300, and the same for the y-axis. Up here, we're at positive 300, and down here, right at the bottom, we're at negative 300. Okay, so if the paddle's up here, we've basically moved up 20 pixels, so the paddle sort of sits at the bottom of the screen. Okay, at minus 280. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3, of course, we've got to draw the ball. Okay, and the ball, yeah, we're using turtle.turtle again to create the object, but the ball shape is going to be circle. The ball color is going to be white. The ball, again, we've got to put pen up because we're going to move the ball to a position right down to the bottom here, that's where this 0 is here, right down to the bottom, just to sit just on top of the paddle. Remember, the paddle is at minus 280, so the ball is going to sit on top of the paddle at minus 260. That's it's going to be a start position. Okay, and then we can change the velocity to a random choice, -2 or 2. Okay, and set the ball's y velocity to 2. So we're going to set the velocity, the x velocity and the y velocity. Okay, and then we've got to set the score. Score equals 0 up here. Okay, so it's going to start on 0. Now step 5, we're going to use the pen to basically write this out. Yeah, to write this out here. So pen speed is 0, so pen speed is its fastest. Pen color is white. Pen up. Yeah, hide the turtle. Pen goes to the top plus 260. Yeah, in the y-axis. 0 in the x-axis. Place the pen to the top center of the screen and then write the variable score. Okay, align it center, font courier, size 24, normal. And this will write in this score up at the top of the screen. Okay, so just to show you this in Python, we are now at line 68. We've just completed the first 66 lines of code. Okay, so next step, let's have a look at how we're going to control the paddle and move it from left to right. So, game controller. I'm defining 2 functions here, move left function and move right function. Okay, we've got a strange sort of x-coordinate thing going on here. So get the current x-coordinate of the paddle. Okay, subtract 30 from the x-coordinate to move the paddle left. If the x-coordinate is less than minus 280, the paddle's coordinate is less than minus 280 left edge, set it to minus 280. Okay, and set the paddle's x, update the paddle's x-coordinate to the new value. So to basically move from the center, from 0 to 180, over to the left. Now pressing the right key, okay, it's exactly the same, but we're going to go in sort of the positive direction. Yeah, as you can see here, positive 280, positive 280. Okay, that's how we would do that. Now, of course, we've got to join the keys, the keyboard keys, to these instructions. So if that's the case, define move left and define move right, and we've called these here, look. The screen listens, any keyboard presses. The screen on key press move left, called the move left function. And when we press right, we're calling the right function. So that's how we're moving the paddle left and right. And there it is without all the comments written, so you can just simply copy that if you want to. Okay, again, these values can be changed. It's entirely up to you how you do it. You can change the keys as well, A and D, Z and X, or whatever you want to use. So just going back into Python, yeah, we're now at line 89 and we're into the main body, okay, the main game loop. Remember, it's 135 lines of code. So we've just got the main game loop to sort out, okay, and then we're going to bind everything together at the bottom and play the main game. So here is the code for the main game loop. Okay, so we're going to move the ball. We're going to check the border. Okay, the paddle and the ball collision we're going to set up here. We're going to change the ball's velocity randomly using this line here. Okay, and then if the ball misses a paddle, we're going to call game over. It's going to write, using the pen, write game over, and it's going to break and the game will stop. Okay, so this is the main game loop. So let's have a look at this. Let's break it down. Game loop, set a hit counter to 0, which sort of relates to the score. While true, we update the screen manually. Okay, and then we're going to move the ball. Step 2, we're going to move the ball. So, ball.setX, using the coordinate tool here, update the ball's X coordinate by adding its velocity. Okay, and then update the ball's Y coordinate by adding its Y velocity into this here. Step 3, the border. This is an important bit because we've got different borders. So there's a border at 290 in the x-axis. Yeah, so going down this border here, this right-hand side. Then we've got a border on this left-hand side. Yeah, and then we've got a border at the top. So border 1, border 2, and border 3. No border at the bottom. Okay, no border at the bottom. So here we go, paddle and ball collision. If the ball and the Y coordinate gets past, is greater than minus 170, right down at the bottom, and the paddle's X coordinate minus 50. So let's have a look. If the ball is at the same level as the paddle, within the paddle's width, set the ball's Y coordinate to just above the paddle. Reverse the ball's Y velocity to bounce it back up. So this will bounce the ball back up. If it is the paddle, it will bounce the ball back up. Yeah? And again, a random choice as to how fast and which direction the ball is going to go in. And in terms of scoring, we increase the score by 1, but, and this is what I was talking about before, this is where we can increase. So every 3 hits, every time we hit the ball 3 times, yeah, every 3 hits, it's going to increase the ball's velocity by 50%. Okay, as you can see here. So it's going to speed up, it's going to double in speed and get faster and faster and faster. Again, what I just mentioned, we increase the score by 1, clear the pen, okay, but pen.write, score, up at the top here, and we're going to add to the score. Yeah, write the new score on the screen. Step 5, if the ball misses the paddle down here, if it goes down this side and it passes the paddle, so if the ball drops to less than minus 300, basically the edge of the border, if the ball goes below the paddle or off the screen, then pen go to 0, 0, pen in the middle, and it's going to write the word game over, yeah, right in the middle of the screen. Okay, it's going to write the word game over right in the middle of the screen here. Okay, break, and that's going to exit the loop and end the game. Okay, just put a break in there. So if the ball travels past the paddle and off the screen, then the game is over. Okay, and it writes the word game over. And then finally, to start all this, to get all this running, we've got the screen listening. The screen is listening for the spacebar to be pressed. The game loads and it's waiting for the spacebar to be pressed. Once the spacebar has been pressed, yeah, then it starts the main screen loop. It starts the main game. Okay, and that is it. So just to recap, okay, I've now come down to line 135. If I run this, run module, the game loads. We press spacebar to start. We use the left and right cursors. I'll speed this up a little bit. Left and right cursors to play the game. Keep batting the ball backwards and forwards. But, and remember after we score 3, if we hit it back again, it should, as you should be able to see this, it should speed up the ball. So it's twice the speed now. But then if we sort of fail to hit it back, the words game over appears in the middle of the screen. And that's the end of it. So that is how we can create a nice and easy retro style Pong game. Hope you've enjoyed that. Have a go. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any problems, any issues, and I will try my best to sort them out. So thank you very much indeed for watching, and I will see you next time. Please continue to ask questions, leave your comments, hit notifications, and please subscribe. And finally, if you wish to buy me a coffee, I'd be truly grateful. Please visit buymeacoffee.com/learning zone. Thank you very much indeed. See you next time. Bye for now.